Hello, everybody. We're going to go over page 39. This was the homework that was assigned the other night, 39 and 40. Make sure when you're doing these, some of it is review from what we had done in the last chapter, and some of it is new. I will try and break down the problems so you can visually see what's happening. So the first problem, we want to just distribute over the parentheses, so we wind up with 2x squared minus 10x. Problem number 2, we're going to go ahead and distribute 4x over the parentheses. So 4 times 5 is 20, x to the first, x to the third is x to the fourth, and then 4 times negative, so I get 4x to the third. Problem number 3 is one of the double distribute ones that we worked with quite a bit. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Some of you missed making that squared on the test. Plus 27x minus 8x minus 36. These are our like terms, so I'm going to get 6x squared plus 19x minus 36. There's our answer. Remember, if you missed the test last week, or if you still needed more time, please come in and see me during one of your off periods. This particular problem, because outside it's squared, means I have 2 of these, like this, and I'll double distribute now. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Make sure you put the squared. 2x times negative 7 is negative 14x. And double distribute here, negative 14x plus 49. These middle terms are like terms, so combine them together. And there's our answer. Number 5, I think we worked in class, but it'll be okay if we re-look at it and make sure you understand it. It's a big distributing problem. So I'm going to distribute here, 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 and here. Right here. So 3x squared times x to the third. Make sure you add the exponents when you're multiplying the bases. Then I'm going to get negative 21x to the fourth plus 30x to the third plus 6x squared. And there's our answer. Number 6, this is one of those special cases. What do you recognize about this? We did it in the last chapter. We had the same numbers and letters, but we have a subtraction and an addition sign. So multiply the first and the last, and that's all you have to do, because the middle terms would fall out. If you did the double distribute, you'd still get the exact same answer. You'd see it fall out. Then we get into what we started yesterday, the new factoring. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to work this. I'm going to break 6 down. I know that 2 times 3 is 6, and then times x. The minus comes along for the ride. Let's break 18 down. 18 is 2 times 9, but I can break 9 down a little bit further. I can break 9 down to 3 times 3. So now we're going to take a look. I have a 2 and a 3 both in common. 2 times 3 is 6, so 6 is going to come outside. I'm left with an x, the subtraction sign comes along, and I'm left with a 3, and our problem's done. So we're breaking down the problems from what they had been. Problem number 8, I have 7x plus 14. Can't really break 7 down, so it's just 7 times x, but 14 will break down to 2 times 7. I then have a 7 in common between the two, bring that out front, and I have x plus 2. Remember, if you wanted to double check if you did it right, just distribute over 7 times x, 7x, 7 times 2, 14. Yeah, it works. Number 9, we have 5x squared minus 6x. So we're going to break this down. I can't break 5 down. It just is 5, because there's no two numbers I can multiply together that are whole numbers that would give me 5, other than 5 and 1, but that doesn't help. And then 6 breaks down to 2 times 3, and then times the x. So what do I have in common? I have an x in common. So I bring an x out front, and then I'm left with 5x minus 2 times 3, which is 6. There's our answer. Number 10, I get 12x squared plus 18x. So let's break some things down. 12 breaks down to 4 times 3, and then x and x. I can break 4 down a little bit further. That breaks down to 2 times 2 times the 3 times the x times the x. Bring the plus down. 18 breaks down to 2 times 9 times x. I can break 9 down a little bit further. 9 is the same thing as 3 times 3. And now I'm going to, I have a 2, I have a 3, and I have an x that I share. Oops, I meant to underline the 3. Sorry about that. So 2 times 3 is 6x. That's what I have in common. And then I'm left with a 2 and an x plus that 3. Problem's done. Problem number 11, I get 8x minus 12. Let's break 8 down. 8 is 2 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2 times x. And then 12 is 3 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. Let's see what we have in common. I have a 2 and a 2. I have another 2 and another 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, so that comes out front. I'm left with 2x minus 3. There's our answer. And you can double check it. 4 times 2x, 8x. 4 times negative 3, negative 12. Number 12. I get negative 4x plus 4xy. Just looking at this, you can probably see that 4x's are going to factor out. Maybe don't have to break it down all the way. So I'll bring a 4x out front. That was a negative, so there's a negative there. But everything came out, so I need to have a placeholder of negative 1 because think about this. 4x times negative 1 is negative 4x. And then on the next one, if the 4x factors out, I'm left with a y. There's our answer. Number 13, looks like we have 3 terms. Okay, so I know that 4 is 2 times 2, and then x squared is x times x. 2 won't break down any further, that's 2 times x, and 10 breaks down to 2 times 5. So looking at the 3 terms, I have a 2 in common of all 3 terms. Bring a 2 out front, put this back together, 2 times x is 2x squared, plus the 2 was factored out, so I'm left with an x, plus the 2 was factored out, so I'm left with a 5. And there's my answer. At any time, if you need me to go over a problem, just make note of it and ask me, and I'm happy to help you. Number 14, 3 won't break down, but x squared breaks down to that. 6 breaks down to 2 times 3, and then I have an x. And then 9 breaks down to 3 times 3. So let's take a look at what we have in common. I have a 3, but I don't have anything else. So 3 comes out front. I have x to xx, which is x squared, plus 2 and x, which is 2x, plus 3. Problem's done. Okay, we're on the next page. Take a look at page 40. Just finish these up. So I have x to the 4th minus 3x squared. Well, think about what x to the 4th is. That's x times x times x times x. 3 won't break down. X squared is x times x. So what do I have in common? I have xx and I have xx. If I bring an xx out front, xx is x squared. I'm left with this xx, which is x squared inside, and then minus 3. There's our answer. Number 16, I have 15x to the 5th minus 10x to the 3rd. Let's break 15 down. 15 breaks down to 3 times 5. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's because it's x to the 5th. Minus 10 breaks down to 2 times 5. And then I have x to the 3rd, so I have 1, 2, 3. Let's see what we have in common between them. I have a 5. Excuse me. I have a 5 in common. And then I have, how many x's? Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, and I got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to bring 5xx outside, which is 5x squared, or 5x to the 3rd. Then I'm left with a 3x and an x, so I'm left with 3x squared inside, minus 2. Number 17, we have 2x to the 5th, minus 3x to the 4th, plus 5x to the 3rd. Let's break this down. 2 won't break down, but x to the 5th is how many x's? Right, there's 5 of them. Minus 3, then I have x to the 4th, which is xxx, x. And then x to the third, and 3 doesn't break down, 5 doesn't break down. X to the third is 1, 2, 3. So what do I have in common between all three terms? I have 1, 2, 3 of those, I have 1, 2, 3 of those, and I have 1, 2, 3 of those. I can't factor out any more. So x is x to the third, that's out front. And I'm left with 2xx, which is 2x squared, minus 3x plus 5. Number 18, I'm going to get negative 4x to the fourth plus 12x to the third minus 8. So I have a negative. 4 breaks down to 2 times 2. And then I have x 4 times. 12 breaks down to 2 times 6. 6 breaks down to 2 times 3. And then I have the x's behind it. And then minus 8. 8 breaks down to 2 times 4. 4 breaks down to 2 times 2. Let's see what we have in common. I have a 2, a 2, and a 2. I have another 2, but I don't have anything else. So 2 times 2 is 4. And then I have that negative outside. Negative x to the fourth. And then plus 3x to the third minus 2. There's our answer. Number 19. I have 10x squared, y to the third, plus 12x to the third, y squared. Let's break 10 down to 2 times 5. I have x squared, so I have xx. I have y to the third, so I have y, y, y. 12 breaks down to 2 times 6. 6 breaks down to 2 times 3. I have x to the third, so 1, 2, and 3. I have y to the second, so y, y. All right, so I have a 2 and a 2. And I have an x and an x. I have another x and another x. I have a y and a y. I have another y and another y. So I have 2xxyy, which is 2x squared y squared. What do I have left? I have a 5 and a y. Plus, I have 6 and an x. I had those. There's my answer. Number 20. I have 14ab squared plus 21a squared b to the third. 14 breaks down to 2 times 7. Then I have an a. B squared is bb plus 21 breaks down to 3 times 7. I have a squared, which is aa. B to the third, which is b, b, b. Let's take a look what we have in common. I have a 7. I have an a. I have a b. And I have another b. So 7ABB is 7AB squared. Then I have a 2 left behind plus a 3 left behind with an A and a B. Problem number 21. I have 14A squared B minus 7AB plus 21A to the third B to the second. 14 breaks down to 2 times 7. A squared is AA. B minus 7 doesn't break down, and then I have AB. 21 breaks down to 3 times 7. A to the third is A. B to the second is B. Let's take a look what we have. I have a 7 in common. I have an A in common. I have a B in common, and that's it. So 7AB comes out front and leaves me 2A minus everything factored out here, so I have to have a 1 as a placeholder, and then 3AB plus 3AB. Number 22. I have x to the fourth, y to the third, z to the fifth, plus x squared, y to the fifth, z to the third. X to the fourth is xxxx, y to the third is y, z to the fifth is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X squared is xx, y to the fifth is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Z to the third is 1, 2, 3. Wow, a lot of letters here. All right, so I have an X and an X. I have another X and another X. That looks like it for the X's. I have a Y and a Y, a Y and a Y, a Y and a Y. I have a Z and a Z, a Z and a Z, a Z and a Z. So I have XX, which is X squared, Y, 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 which is Y to the third, Z, 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 which is Z to the third. And look what I have left. I have XX, which is X squared. I don't have any Y's here. I have ZZ, ZZ is Z squared. Bring the plus sign down. And all I have left over here is YY. There's our answer. That's kind of a goofy one. So again, if you have any questions, please ask me. I'm happy to help you. And again, if you owe me a test or quiz, double check your PowerSchool. My grades are up to date, so make sure if you're missing a homework, you can make sure you get that completed. Show me. If you missed a test or quiz, come in during one of your off periods so we can get you taken care of. Okay, we've seen this type of problem yesterday. So notice, I have X plus 3, that's the same. So that's going to come out front. What do I have left? I just have a Y plus 2, so put in the other parentheses, put that. The problem's done. Okay? So think about this one. What do I have in common between here and here? Well, I have the X minus 1. What do I have left? I have 2X plus 5. That goes in the other set of parentheses. It's done. This is pretty simple. It's a complicated looking problem, but if you see how to take care of it, you can deal with it real quick. I have X plus 5 in common between the two. What do I have left? I have 3X minus 2. Put that in the other set of parentheses. It's that simple, my friends. So go on to, and that was page 41, by the way. Go on to page 42, which is the next page. Okay, what do I have in common between the two? Yeah, I have 2X plus 3. So the whole term comes out. And then I'm left with an X minus, well, everything factored out. So what's a placeholder in math? 1. So there's our answer. So what about example 4? It doesn't look the same anymore. Okay? We call this factor by grouping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the very first two terms, and then I'm going to look at my last two terms. So if I kind of cover up, here, let me put a heart here. I got 2 hearts that I drew. Okay? So what do I have in common between here? Well, I have x, x, x plus x, x. So what can I factor out of both of those? I can factor out an xx, which is x squared, and I'm left with x plus 1. Okay? That plus sign I'm going to bring straight down. Now I'm going to move my heart out of the way. I'm going to ignore that side. Let's get rid of this other heart. What do I have in common between these? Well, 7x is the same thing as 7x. 7 is the same thing as 7. I have a 7 in common, so I'll factor a 7 out front. And I'm left with an x. And everything factored out, so I have to have a 1. Does this look like up here? Sure does. So now I have an x plus 1. So remember, the x plus 1s are the same, so I'm going to bring x plus 1 out front because those are the same. What do I have left? I have x squared plus 7. Just put that in the other set of parentheses. The problem's done. And this is actually a skill that we are going to, when we are working a lot more with factoring, is we build something they have to see, okay? And then let's get rid of the heart because we don't need that there. Let's look at the last example. See, it has 4 terms. Okay, so I'm going to look at the very first 2 terms first, and then I'm going to look at the very last terms. Okay, so let's look at these first 2 terms. I have 4x to the third. 4 is the same thing as 2 times 2, and then I have x, x, x. 12 breaks down to 2 times 6. 6 breaks down to 2 times 3, and then x squared is x, x. So I'm only looking at that right now. What do I have in common? I have a 2, another 2, another 2, an x, and an x, another x, and another x. So I get 2xx, which is 4x squared. Parentheses, I have an x plus 3. Okay? So now, take a look at this right here. I'm going to bring it over here off to the side. Okay? One thing we want to take into account is I have a negative 3 and an x. Then I have a negative 3 times 3. Anytime you have this term here, the very middle, being a negative, that means there's going to be a negative right here. Okay, let's make that blue maybe. Anytime that's a negative. Okay, which means I have a negative 3 and a negative 3 in common here. So I'm factoring a negative 3 out. What do I have left? I have an x and a 3. Now, cautious. I factored negative out, so that sign has to change, and it has to be a plus 3. Can you see how now these are the exact same thing? If I didn't factor that negative 3 out, they wouldn't be x plus 3 and x plus 3. It'd be x plus 3 and x minus 3, and those are not like terms. Okay, so now I'm going to factor the x plus 3 out that I have in common between the two, this one and this one. What do I have left? Yeah, I have 4x squared minus 3. And there's our answer. I hope you guys are doing well. So let's see. What homework will be page 43. And please take your time. If you need extra help, let me know. So page 43 and 44, 1 through 17 all. Do the best you can. It looks like, yeah, we just get in factor by grouping. This is all the new material we went over. So take your time. Ask me if you have questions. If you have periods 4, 6, or 8 off, you're welcome to come by and get extra help with me. Have a nice day.